What is going on, everybody? Happy, I would say, what is it? It's going to be Wednesday. We're recording late Thursday night or late Tuesday night. This is the drunken edition. Here's what happened to me, and then Sheets can tell his story. But I am going to tell you that we played a drinking game in regards to the debate. Now, I don't care what side you're on. I mean, I guess overall, if we were friends, I probably would care. But like, in general, I don't care what side you're on. This is, not about that. It was about getting it right. I got a lot of things wrong, so I ended up drinking. When I drank a little bit more, and it was a tilting debate, and it was a life is fucked kind of, life is effed kind of a feeling. But at the same time, you know what? Forget all that. We've got incredible daily fantasy sports to bring you. Sheets is coming from a totally different angle. Sheets, get us onto some baseball.
Okay. So let's review yesterday. I mean, I got time, man. I mean, everybody's asleep. I have all night. The debate was entertaining. I would have you know that no sleepy Biden won me $1 off of you. I think that broke the tie.
Did it?
In our side bets, yeah. So that was good.
No sleep.
And I'm going to share my screen a little bit because so what I was telling Bobby before is I played like 10 lineups on FanDuel, and I only cashed in one of them, and I was between, I played a few in the $9 and then like a few in the 44, and I played one. I obviously only played one lineup in the 333 in the Monster, and I was between two lineups, and the one I actually put in only scored one. It had Cole, but it only scored 125, and the one that I switched off of it into this one. In this $9, which I'll pull up right now, this one would have won the Monster by like 15 points.
So if in fact, and I believe you 1,000,000,000%, what's going to bother me about this is that this is the thing I told you like day one. And I've made this mistake before, but usually it's for like a $44 win versus like winning the $10. I ended up making a 1v1 swap, and I won 10K, but I could have won 100. Why in the world would you make a 333 lineup that doesn't have a chance to win more in the $9 overall? It's always good to pair those lineups together. If there's a late sub, that's what you leave them open for. But this is not a late sub situation.
Well, this was my logic behind why I put this one in the 9.
Well, no, not why you put this in the 9. Why did you not keep whatever you had in the? So you only had it in 9. So.
Yeah, I had 10 totally unique lineups.
Okay. It makes sense. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, my logic was I felt this was I was like sort of too contrarian because it was total leverage against Bieber. You know what I mean? Like I figured this type of thing would be good enough in like the 9. You know what I mean? Because it was a little bit scary to put in. You know what I mean? So I just figured this might be good enough in the 9.
It's actually a beautiful lineup.
Yeah, and not in the 333. So that was that.
That's how you win $9 tournaments, by the way. FYI. I know he didn't win this tournament, but it's the same purpose. This line easily could have won everything because if you get that different and you're right, it took literally him running bad in his other spots and him kind of running not bad, but he could have run almost even better with his main stack.
Yeah, so with respect to DraftKings, I played like 10 lineups or something like that, and I don't think any of them were within like 10 points of even cashing. So that was the way it went for me.
I had the late night so early on in DraftKings, I was in the top 5 all day because my whole thing was, so I played 75% Abreu. I played 60% Adam Engel on DraftKings.
Oh, wow.
Which was a beauty. Unfortunately, I played 80% Kyle Tucker. Yeah. And I made a lot of pivots there, but I felt really, really good about trying to pick one other spot from that outfield in that game. And I knew he'd be the low-owned one, and I also thought his upside with stolen bases against Maeda, if he got on, was really high. So I went with a conviction play that didn't work. I had lineups that had great shots. I was going to switch over to Cole instead of Bieber and leave 400 on the table when I thought I could have a chance to win the tournament. When it became clear I had no chance, I thought I would take what I thought were the safer points because I thought there was a minimum of 7 to 8 strikeouts. I wasn't wrong about that. but I wasn't necessarily right about all the hitting that would happen. You know, and just in all fairness, to give the Yankees credit, to give Boone credit, they did an incredible job. This team has an incredible sense for the strike zone like no team you've seen. There are not other teams. The Dodgers are the closest thing. The Dodgers, in my opinion, are the best offense in baseball. When the Yankees are healthy like this and they're going, they're freaking scary, man.
Well, and they sort of owned him strategically because, the funny thing is we talked about this before, and I said, well, one of the reasons I thought the Yankees would be okay is that, well, my logic, though, again, the logic was wrong, but this is what I've been getting at. I was saying that, listen, the Yankees are a really patient team, and if they make Bieber, waste 105 pitches through 6, we'll be able to attack his bullpen. But they totally owned me and did the exact opposite. They just went right after the first good pitch they saw, and just buried him.
So I had actually listened after our stuff to some recent speak from the locker rooms or whatever they say on the shows and everything, and that was the rumor, and that's what they did. And that's what, Sheets, you called it at one point during the show. And look, we're going to be right and wrong about a bunch of things during shows, but you said it at one point, and hopefully we're always right about one major point, and you nailed it. Yeah. Sometimes you just expect the best over the best. Like, take the best against anybody. You know what I mean? We do it in basketball all the time. We do it in football all the time. Why wouldn't we do it in baseball a little bit more? Because honestly, it's the highest variance with the biggest ownership gap. And in these playoffs, maybe that's something we should be leading into. And hey, hopefully that's our lead into how we're going to make all the money for the people tomorrow.
Well, I couldn't believe, man, when I pulled this up, it was the eight gamer, man. This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be every day.
And not only that, though, but what's cool.
So I'm gonna play small tomorrow. So
this reminds me of the NBA a little bit, in that you see these sort of not island games, but you got the same slate. We got a 12:08 and a 5:08. I mean, don't forget to get your wagers in tomorrow. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
And again, if you're going to be around, and you should be, you should be adapting throughout the course of the day based on how you're doing. You really should. I know it's a pain in the ass, but anything that's worth doing is probably worth doing well. So you're probably I can't speculate, but let's just say that you have Bauer.
Dimes over here. What's going on? He's dropping dimes. Nice job, Sheets. I love it. You dropped two great sayings in 3 sentences. Good job.
Oh, nice. So Bauer. So let's say you have Bauer and he's kind of shitting the bed a little bit. Then you could, let's say you were thinking of doing something with St. Louis and San Diego. If you were going to play something chalky from that game, but Bauer's starting to do badly, then you could just pivot and just, instead of playing an expensive Tatis, who, I'm just speculating, then just pay the same amount and play Goldschmidt, or, you know what I mean? Or Edmund or something like that at a tenth of the ownership, just to try to get it back. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to, once you start doing poorly, if you just go with the best plays that everybody else is going to have, you're just never going to win anything.
All right. Well, we have to go game by game on this slate.
Yeah, sure.
It's absolutely imperative. And I'm going to start off with the weirdest. First of all, Trevor Bauer, I think, is my favorite pitcher on the slate. Now, I don't like feeling this way. I'm just not going to resist the guy with the highest upside in the best spot, better than against the Yankees spot. It sucks that it's in Atlanta. I'm shocked at the run total in this game. The projected run total of less than 4 for Atlanta is pretty unusual for Atlanta, especially this time of year against anyone. Kershaw, maybe Scherzer, not many people. Bauer, we know, is going to throw 7,000 pitches. He will pitch until his arm falls off. It doesn't matter. He's fine. He pitched, he's on his full rest now. He actually got an extra day. Trevor Bauer is my highest upside. If you're playing tournaments, should be your number one starter. Yes, there's risk. Yes, you have a good offense. Yes, I like pieces of that offense against him. I also think Max Fried is the clever play of the day. And at the same time, I love specifically Aquino, assuming that he's in the top part of the order, Suarez and Senzel. So I have a weird double take on this game. I think I'm looking at one-offs. and I'm looking at both Bauer and Fried, but I think it's really going to end up just being Bauer for me.
So Bauer, again, and we talked about this heading into today's slate. You know, and DraftKings, I'm pretty sure they do this on purpose, like for the playoffs. I mean, they really make players accessible to you. You know what I mean? They make it so you could play the players you want without like having to play. I always use Lewis Brinson as an example, right? Without having to play like crappy hitters. And so they price all these guys now. Like everybody tonight, like was priced down. It's a question of who's priced down more, right? So like Trevor Bauer at 9K, I mean, I don't care who he's against, is kind of a joke, right? Just kind of, you know, just in and of itself. Now, yeah, sure. I mean, like you're playing against Atlanta, so you can only hope. I mean, Bobby, you can only hope that keeps the ownership down. But I don't know, man. I think people are going to play him.
No, I'm sort of more just saying he's my favorite play on.
Okay.
I said that he's,
Okay.
but I still consider him a tournament play. Like if I want to go a different direction with my lineup, I don't think I need to play him. I think,
and you can
like,
certainly play. You can certainly play Freddie Freeman if you want for Atlanta. If you don't like that, or even if you do. Just looking really quickly at just the prices here, the Atlanta guys, because they're usually pretty expensive.
Right?
What's that?
It's very hard to justify these Atlanta prices.
Yeah.
With the exception of Riley. Oh my goodness. Duvall and Riley would be the super exceptions to this. With maybe if Swanson was hitting up near the top of the order, but like in general, you want some power, so you've got Duvall and Riley. Perfect. Those are your plays from.
Dude, Riley's like kind of criminal, isn't it? Like,
it almost feels like bizarre. Yeah, there's too much power upside for that price. I know it sucks. He's got one position, and it's a good position on the slate. But I definitely don't mind if you're not playing Trevor Bauer, which I will be doing a lot, playing Austin Riley.
You like any of the Cincinnati hitters?
Yeah, I love Suarez. I love Suarez if he's lowish owned. Unfortunately, I don't think he will be. People won't realize that Fried didn't give up a home run until his last.
It's a big slate.
Maybe if he's completely unowned, I have tons of interest in him, and I have a lot of interest in Aquino at 2,800. It might be another Sheets. It might be another situation where we pay down in the outfield stack a little bit. Well, I think we're going to talk more about mini stacking, but more stacking on the infield in this slate.
Okay, it's having a little tough time pulling up Aquino here. Maybe I should take that as a sign.
I mean, he may not be in the lineup. He also might.
No, it's not that. It just took a while for it to come up. Okay, so all right. So again, I'm doing this at first glance. At first glance, none of this really speaks to me. You know what I mean? I'm not too interested in it to take Cincinnati against Max Fried. I'm not too interested in taking. I mean, I'll take a couple of one-offs from Atlanta. I don't want to stack against Trevor Bauer.
No, but Trevor Bauer, one-off or two. Like one thing is Trevor Bauer will challenge everybody, and Atlanta has hitters that are really good at and adept at being challenged. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
I don't think your kind of guy is Freddie Freeman though. I think it's more of the Acuna, Azuna, Albies, that type of variety. Somebody who's not quite as patient. Sorry, Sheets. Keep going.
No, that's fine. So you want to move on then?
Yeah, let's move on.
So Houston, Minnesota, like Urquidy's a guy that you could play on like a freaking Tuesday, like when you needed an SP2 with something else and whatever it is, but I don't need him on a playoff slate. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be given, a long leash, I don't think, and he doesn't strike anybody out. I'm not too interested in that, and I'm not. And you know what? It seems that Berrios, every time he's on a slate, people are like, maybe I could play Berrios. And he's like always like he's never the top choice. He's never a guy that anybody wants to attack from the other side. He's always kind of like on the outside looking in. And I kind of feel the same way about him today. I don't think I want to take either of the pitchers. So with that said, I mean, if the prices are right, I mean, let's take a look at some of this hitting, So the first thing I look at is I see,
Wait, first of all, you can't say anything before you say Byron Buxton. It has to be Buxton first.
I just presumed that he was going to be in.
Oh, well, he's always in now.
Yeah, yeah, like you said. I mean, like
The guy has become now he's batting first or second or third against right-handers.
By the way, you didn't catch this.
Sheets,
you didn't catch this. You weren't
career.
You didn't catch this. You weren't watching, but I saw the announcers like during the maybe he did. I don't know if he has a good fielding percentage or something like that, but somebody hit a ball.
Best defensive outfielder and best defensive center fielder in baseball.
Okay, so that's where it came from because somebody hit a ball out there and said, and there a kid hits the Byron Buxton, the best center fielder in baseball. I'm like, oh, Bobby said that 3 months ago. I don't want to hear it. So he is really good defense. That's why they said that.
He is spectacular. That's what kept him in the lineup, and the people don't understand that how he adjusted the pitches. Now he absolutely destroys off-speed pitches where that was his only weakness. It was a killer of fastballs. He's awesome now.
So, and I'm gonna suggest that Max Kepler against the righty is a good play.
But also, don't forget about Rosario. I want to sleep on this. And by the way, just pull up Rosario's player card versus Kepler's. And Kepler's was better last year. But in general, over the course of their career, Rosario's has been slightly better. And Kepler's always been the more popular one. The guy who everybody wants to play. The guy who, makes a lot more sense for this reason or that reason, or he's batting at the top and all this. Rosario simply has more power in general. You could just look, even if it doesn't pull up, which is
it's not.
Close that. We'll just say, just look at their average. The fact of the ownership difference, literally of 2-1, maybe even 3-1 for Kepler versus Rosario, makes Rosario to me the better if you're going to play a one-off play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he really tilted me today. He put a bat on one early in the game that could have really got me going.
It could have got us going, man.
So I'm starting with these Minnesota dudes, man. I mean, at least it's a good start. I don't know if Jay Cave gets in the lineup at 2,400. You could play him.
Jay Cave, I don't think he's getting in this lineup. To be honest with you, I think Miguel Sano is the best. If Urquidy does start, I think Miguel Sano is the best play on the slate. I think that if you're going to give me a low strikeout picture, and people say it about the A's, and we'll get to that in a minute, but if you're going to give me a low strikeout picture, there's a reason there's no total for this game. First of all, we don't know who's starting for Houston. Let's just keep that in mind. But I think it's going to be Urquidy, and I think it's going to be long relief. But you now have a bunch of one inning relievers, which sucks in general. But for mini stacking which is 3 or 4 man, this is what you want here. You want a guy like Rosario who strikes out a ton. You want a guy like Buxton who strikes out a ton. You want a guy like Sano who strikes out a ton. You want a guy like Cruz who's awesome, even against guys who are high strikeout, but he still strikes out a pretty high amount. These are guys you don't want to throw pitchers who don't have incredible strikeout volume. Now, the one thing I'll note, because Valdez was so incredibly dominant today, they didn't use a reliever. They have everybody. They can use their 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 men. Against this Houston team, I've looked at those guys' numbers. There's 2 of them that are pretty alarming in terms of high strikeouts, but that's assuming the last 2 innings. Sheets, have we ever gone into the last 2 innings going, oh my God, I need 5 home runs the last 2 innings? No, you might need 1.
Right.
But let's get these guys. I'm with you.
All right. Well, let's just see if anybody's better later. But for now, that's where I'm at. Houston, maybe I'm just biased or whatever. Actually, that's not true. I mean, I like Tucker from the left side. I like Brantley from the left side. Reddick was a horror show today, but if he gets another start, I think he's in play also. So I think the Houston guys are in play again as well.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that Minnesota starts. And by the way, I wish I could make a prop bet on this. I'm going to guess that Minnesota starts Scarver instead of Jeffers. So just keep an eye out for that. And it could be he could be in Arias might be batting 9th and he might be batting 1st. So just keep an eye out for these kind of things because it's playoff baseball. Honestly, during the regular season, that actually would have even made sense. So he would be another one you'd want. Anyway, Yeah, we can move to Chicago and Miami, which basically, like, I'll say my part of this. I think Alcantara is like an awesome tournament play if you're playing a 150 lineups. I don't think you can quite justify it otherwise because I think Kyle Hendricks is a slightly better play, assuming the wind is blowing in. Now, there's a reason there's no total on this game. We don't have a great feel for it yet. But if the wind is blowing in, both pitchers I'm very interested in. If the wind is blowing out, I'm interested in the Cubs lefties and honestly, whoever's cheap for the Marlins.
So the Cubs lefties, we're talking about Rizzo, talking about, what's his name's hurt.
Perhaps a switch hitter.
Yeah, but he's hurt, I think.
We'll see.
No, I mean, he might play, but he's been hurt. I don't know.
Who cares? That's all BS at the end of the day.
Think so?
Yeah. I don't buy any part of it. Chris Bryant, same thing. I'm fine with playing Chris Bryant at super cheap prices. Like, and I'm not a
Schwarber 3,800.
It's only about the wind for me here, bro. I'm going to make this really, really simple. I think we should help the people very clearly here. If the wind is blowing out, we should be betting on both offenses a little bit, not too much, because both pitchers are good. But bet on the lefties for Chicago. Take Dickerson, maybe one other bat, because they're so cheap from the Marlins. But I don't think
Dickerson at 2,800 is kind of ridiculous.
But, like, Hendricks, even in bad situations, still doesn't, like, give a ton of home runs. And Alcantara, if the wind is blowing in, is like the sleeper 150 person, whatever you're making. He's the guy who can go out there who no one's going to play, who can go throw 6 innings or 7 innings of one hit ball and have 11 Ks. He has that ability. Now, will that be there? I don't know. I'm just saying. I also like the bats. It's going to depend on the wind for me. I think we need to wait on this one and just say we don't know. Because I don't have the weather doesn't even know. And if all things considered equal, it's a little bit of a cross-off for me. But I really like Hendricks, and I really like Alcantara if the wind's blowing in.
Okay, you want to move on?
Mm-hmm.
So White Sox, Oakland. I'm coming off a little bit of a bias. I had a good game out of Bassett in this last start. He was really, really good actually, but I'm not playing him against the White Sox. And on the other hand, I don't think I want to play the White Sox either. Again, I also have a bias that I'd like to play White Sox against the lefties, not really against the righties. So I don't think I'm going to really get to them. Good call, by the way, today by you on Abreu. You were saying that wasn't even close, that he was clearly the guy you were going to start with at first base, and he had a home run within like 2 seconds of the slate start. So that was good.
Also had a double.
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to get too into that. I'm not going to play Keuchel, but I certainly I'm interested in playing Oakland guys for something you alluded to a little bit earlier. Like Oakland. If you're not going to be able to strike them out, I mean, you might have a problem, right? Against a team like that. Now it hurts a little bit. I mean whatever. Chapman's been out. It would be nice for Chapman who've been it's been around. And yeah, I guess it's not ideal. Olsen lefty, but I don't care. I mean, like Olsen I'll play, and then La Stella, Canha, the other guy that we were supposed to play today, Pinder. I think Oakland on a I don't want to say 16 games, like 16 team slate. I don't know. Maybe they'll get some ownership, but that to me seems like a pretty logical team to stack. No.
I think that it's interesting. I like the idea of it. Keuchel doesn't get lit up.
You sure?
Home runs allowed this season. 2. What are we talking about here? This superpower team. But I actually have the instinct to play some of these guys. Okay. What I think is more interesting is that we decided, and I believe he's been really good this year. I also have looked at who his opponents are that he's been really good against. The awful Houston offense twice, which one of the time they lit him up, which by the way had no Springer and no Bregman. The Texas offense, San Francisco, Seattle, Arizona, Angels for mediocre, Houston for mediocre, Seattle, Angels for mediocre. He doesn't get wild enough for me to really like want to stack against him. I mean, he can get actually. I mean, I don't know, man. I actually have an instinct a little bit to stack the White Sox.
Okay.
I'm afraid of the weirdly 3 home runs. By the way, I called this too with Grandal. So pissed off about it.
Yep, absolutely.
He bats against the lefties, and the first at bat he gets is as a lefty against a righty. He fucking hits one out. I don't know what they're going to roll with tomorrow. It's hard for me to see them not playing Adam Engel again, which I've always said the kid has power to play him in your weird stacks. But, like, Moncada looks broken, but I don't care. He's still going to break out at some point. If he gets on base, he's going to steal a base against Bassett. That's a promise. I don't know who's going to be in the lineup for the White Sox. I just know that I'm interested in a mini stack or maybe a full stack of the White Sox.
Well, I mean, if Bassett's a guy you could steal off of, I mean, you could get double.
I saw really good patience today. I saw the White Sox play the way they played early in the year today. Now, it's against the lefties. They crush all lefties. We get that. There certainly will be no lefties coming in relief. So if you play a guy like Mazzara, who finally hit a home run the last week of the season.
Oh, did he really? He finally got one?
Yeah. If you play any of the righties, it doesn't matter. The only problem is Bassett is good against righties. But, like, Lurie Garcia is not projected in their lineup. He's going to be in their lineup tomorrow, I promise you, unless they made a huge mistake. Unless he got hurt or something that I don't know about. Anyway, we can move on.
So, okay. Want to go into the next game?
It's.
So, to me, there are three. Again, I'm not a projection. I don't make them myself, right? So, there were 3 guys on the slate tonight that I thought were just totally mispriced. Okay, and one of them I thought was Ryu from this game. Isn't this ridiculous? I don't know. Tampa Bay strikes out. Ryu's awesome. He's 8,100. I actually don't quite get it. So I'm gonna, hopefully I am gonna put one lineup in tonight without ever looking at a projection because I'm just gonna make sure to put that in.
Talking to your old buddy, by the way.
What's that?
Your old friend below above who's texting me or tweeted me.
Really?
He tweeted about a big T thing. And anyway, it's not important.
Oh, all right. I am not. I could also. I mean, I don't really play Glass now. But you have better luck with him than I do. I mean, you kind of know when to play him. So, but Ryu to me just seems kind of like a standout, if you want to know the truth. Now, with respect to hitting from this game, I'm just going to eyeball this prices. So, on the Toronto side, if you want to go after Glass now, some reason, they priced Teoscar to $5K. Bichette $5K. Biggio, I guess, is cheap enough, but I don't know. I don't have any real desire to attack Glass now, though, or not to mention the freaking the limitless Tampa Bay bullpen, right? So I'm not too interested in Toronto. I bit today a little bit, and I just felt like kind of a chump when they just started throwing in all these freaking relievers that you had no chance against. So I'm gonna defer to Tampa. They know what they're doing. They found a gem performance out of Snell. They got the bullpen come in. You know what I mean? Like I think they're probably just going to win the freaking World Series. That's kind of the way it is. So I'm not attacking them. And that's kind of my at least my first look at this game. I mean, am I wrong about Ryu? Am I just ridiculous?
No. There's a lot of good pitchers in the same price range. I don't see Ryu as a standout.
Okay.
And I love Ryu. I think he's the most underrated pitcher in baseball. I really do. Genuinely. He's one of the best real-life pitchers in baseball. I also think Tyler Glasnow is an underrated in general guy.
Okay.
And for DFS. In real life, it's funny because most people think Glasnow is a better pitcher, but they're not even close. Glasnow has a higher strikeout upside in this game. I don't think I'm going to end up using either of these pitchers. I'm not particularly interested in the hitters. It's a must win for Toronto. This is the way the world works now. If Ryu gets into any certain trouble, the weird part is that's like his specialty is getting out of trouble. So it's kind of unfortunate for him. You could side with some of the bets. The one thing I might be afraid of is maybe, like, I wouldn't mind sprinkling in any of the Toronto bats here.
Okay.
But I'm not going to stack them, I don't think. Although I've seen Glasnow blow up, and there's not a lot of blow up spots on this slate. So just
hey, you know who's really good today, by the way?
Who's that?
Robbie Ray.
You know what? That's what happens, man, with Robbie Ray.
He was really good. He came out of the bullpen. He was terrific.
That's what happens.
So that's it from this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so St. Louis, San Diego. I'm so excited. I can safely say I'm going to have 0 Chris Paddock. I've been waiting to say that all year. Just literally not a shred of interest. There's just no possible way I'm taking him at 8,800 when Ryu's at 8,100. It's just never happening.
Not happening for me either. Not even close.
Not even remotely close. I mean, he on his hands and knees to barely get there against Seattle. You know, you know what? I'm just not interested. So let's take a look at the let's take a look at these. I'm not at these hitters. I'm not too interested in Kim. Like, again, maybe on a Tuesday when I need something like this. On a regular season, I don't think I need it today. It's too many other options. So let's just take a quick look, I guess, and see. First of all, let's look at San Diego's. All right, so I lied. I was going to say, they make it so that you can play anybody. They don't make it that easy. I mean, but I don't know, though. Machado, 5,500. Tatis at 5,300 against the lefty. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe that's a good price.
It's way too good a price.
Yeah, so maybe he's a good price. And then I don't want to play Moreland against the lefty. So I guess I'd start with those. Maybe Will Myers. Yeah, maybe this might be chalky. I don't know. We'll see. But San Diego definitely looks like a team to play. On the St. Louis side, let me take a look. I was hoping they might give you like some gift or something. They put you like one of those guys at like 2,800 or something, just in case they forget or something. But they didn't do that. So I don't know. Maybe Dylan Carson bats 4th or something. But I have no real interest in stacking against Paddock either. I'm just staying away from him and probably not playing St. Louis guys.
It's hard to know what the ownership's going to be the night before.
Yeah.
I would just naturally assume San Diego will be one of the more popular stacks. I think at first run total, let me take a quick look through. Why do I not have San Diego? That's interesting. I believe they have the second highest run total on the slate, maybe 3rd. It's right there. The Dodgers are 5. San Diego's 4.49. Yeah, they're 2nd of released ones. They make a lot of sense. It's actually kind of shocking that the run total is as low as it is. To get them in is weird. Figure out who's in the lineup. Tommy Pham stands out as a great lower price play in the outfield. Obviously, Tatis is going to be popular. There's going to be 2 major great shortstop plays. It's Tatis and Seager. I prefer Seager. I prefer the Dodgers to the Padres. And it honestly doesn't matter to me who starts for Milwaukee. That's how strongly I feel. It's a simple situation. You have Kim, who actually is a pretty decent lefty. It's a nightmare spot for him. This is awesome righties left and right. I would say stack this game on any slate. I'm shocked the run total is as low as it is, but also you get every best reliever coming out if there's any trouble at all. I would bet the over in this game. I would not play Paddock, and I would find ways to try to combine your San Diego with your Dodgers. And, we talked a little about the A's-White Sox game, but I'm starting to think a little bit of both sides of that game make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Ready? Move on?
Let's go.
Okay, so my next 2 mispriced guys are both from this game on opposite sides. You can't pay me enough to play Carrasco at 9,400 on this slate. I'm not paying. I'm gonna have 100. I'm gonna have 0 of Carrasco.
Do you think anybody's gonna play him?
Probably not, right?
So I'll have way over the field on Carrasco.
So you'll have like 3% as opposed to 1% from the field, I guess.
No, if the field is 10%, I'll have 50.
Okay.
It's that big of an advantage. I mean, we saw the strikeout upside tonight. If you can locate in the zone, depending on who the umpire is, which I can find out before the game, you have a ton of righties and no good lefties that you're going to put against a guy who's dominant against righties. Let's go.
All right. Well, and then on the other side, what the hell is Tanaka doing at 6,700?
By the way, why is the Yankees total so low? I have to say, while I just said that, I think this total is too low also. I would like to bet the over on this game.
But wait a minute. So let's get back to what I just asked. Why is Tanaka at 6,700?
Because 6,700 is the new 7,800.
I guess.
No, because look at the price of the other pitchers. It makes sense.
All right.
I mean, we had 9K today with the greatest pitcher of all time this year, Bieber.
We're talking about playing Sandy Alcantara at 6,800.
Exactly. Alcantara is a better pitcher.
Than Tanaka?
At this point in their careers, I would say so. I mean, I guarantee you if you gave every MLB team a chance, they would all take Alcantara. I promise you. It wouldn't even be a hesitation.
Okay, I mean, to start a team now, but I mean, Tanaka's got playoff experience. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. The only thing is like you said,
Has ever done wrong to anybody? All he's done is dominates.
All right. The only thing I'll say, by the way, the thing that's preventing me from taking Tanaka is the Yankees bullpen's so freaking good that Tanaka puts a guy on first base in the 4th inning, he might be out. You know what I mean? So it's depends on what else they do in this game. And again, presuming Carrasco has a decent game, the Yankees are going to, it's going to be a close game, and maybe, the Yankees don't want to risk giving up more than 2 runs at any point. So he might not have the leash that he might otherwise. So I just felt that 6,700 seemed like. So
in all fairness, 6,700 for Tanaka. He averaged 13.5 fantasy points this year versus Alcantara, and Miami has nowhere near the bullpen that New York has. Is facing a better opponent. And why are we – I'm just saying – I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that Tanaka won't have a better outing tomorrow. I'm just saying, why are we more into Tanaka? We also know Alcantara has a longer leash. But he's also averaged more over a regular season. And what do you think the Yankees will do in the playoffs? They will shut it down as fast as they can, unless it's Garrett Cole. That's my personal take.
We got to check the wind, like you said. I mean, the wind in Chicago is going to be a pretty big.
Yeah, right now I have Hendricks as my SP2 because I think I'm different enough with my stack.
Yeah, for me, I would go Bauer and Ryu right now. But if you told me that it was definitely wind blowing in, I would make.
I worry about Ryu just because of how the switchability of Tampa Bay, and they have a lot of guys who are good against lefties who didn't even play today. So I would worry a little bit about Ryu. And I like Ryu very much in general. I think he's the best pitcher down here, except for I do think Alcantara's got if the wind's blowing in and the Cubs with their strikeout rate against righties, dude, give me a chance with Alcantara, especially if he's low owned. This guy's the business, I'm telling you. This Miami team, they've got a chance because they can ride Alcantara and a potentially incredible Sixto to the title.
It could be the new what's the guy's name from Miami?
Dontrell Wilson.
No, the other guy from Miami who won the World Series.
That's it. Wasn't it Dontrell Wilson?
I mean the other guy, the guy that beat the Yankees every freaking game. Oh no, that was Tampa. No, Florida. They were called Florida at the time. It was who was the freaking dude who basically won every game in the World Series? He ended up on the Red Sox.
Am I wrong with Dontrell Wilson? Did I get the name wrong?
I don't know who that is, but no, this is a white guy. He might have won the Cy Young.
Right. I meant Dontrell Willis.
I know I'm not him either, but Come on, everybody.
He dominated the Yankees.
How can you not remember this?
He dominated the Yankees.
I got it. Beckett.
Josh Beckett was not. Yeah, that's a different thing. He was a Red Sox too.
That's what I said. He finished with the Red. He went to the Red Sox also.
Yeah, you're right.
When Beckett beat the Yankees, you were like 2 years old. Okay, I got you. I understand.
No, I was not. I was right there. I mean, that was a.
Do you know that year? So when
really well.
That was, I want to say that was 90. That was the year that Boone hit the home run, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing the Aruba tournament that year and the poker tournament, and while I was in Aruba, that comeback, the comeback the Yankees against Pedro happened, and also the Bartman game happened. I watched that in the sports bar also. When the Cubs blew and Mark Pryor, you know what I mean? He basically had it, and then the Bartman thing happened, and Pryor blew up. So both those games happened, the Aaron Boone home run and the Bartman game, while I was in Aruba in that poker tournament. All
right, now I'm going to make you feel a little bit old. That was at least before I played competitive poker.
Okay.
I mean, I hadn't really played poker at that point.
Okay, you ready for this? So there were three guys, okay? So there were three guys that in my super satellite, okay, that I won, that were my first seat. I won 2 seats in the UB. The other guy who won the seat was Ticker, who was Eric Lindgren, who won the tournament. And the other guy who won the satellite with me was Josh Aryeh, playing as Atlanta Angela. And I think he might have, he did well. He did well also. So that was, that's how long ago that was.
Jeez, that is crazy.
Oh.
One of my first WSOP events, I was playing, we were down to like 25 players in a limit hold'em event, which is really weird because I didn't play much limit hold'em, but I understood how to play. I just decided to be really a nit for a couple of days. And then I was playing with Eric Lindgren deep, and he was like, he made a bet with somebody else at the table that me and one other guy had played above 300, 600 limit online or in person. And the really, really sad answer was that I had, because I was a very good no limit player. I was a good no limit cash player in general, but I wasn't like especially good. I was really good at tournaments. And I played 300, 600 limit at the time because that's how the games were.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? Anyway, on to the Dodgers.
I had 2 more, save it for another time. I have 2 more. Got to remember, I have 2 more great stories from that Aruba tournament.
All right. Well, that's we're going to save one for the next time.
For another time, we'll get to that. So Milwaukee Dodgers. So let me ask you a question. So I don't know if Milwaukee's like loaded with these. See, Milwaukee used to be loaded with all these dudes.
They're pretty loaded.
So is this going to be one of those where if Milwaukee like pitches like 11 pitchers, 2/3 of an inning each, and they beat the Dodgers like 3-2, you're going to complain about how the playoffs are rigged and the Dodgers are never going to win a World Series because baseball isn't fair or whatever it is? Is that what's going to happen?
No. That's not going to happen because that's already happening.
Oh, okay.
I've already made that claim. It's already happened. It's too late for me to say it again. I mean,
it's going to be your Exhibit A, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's my Exhibit like 94. I mean,
so with that said, we're taking the Dodgers.
Exhibit A with the Astros, by the way.
So basically, we're saying we're going to take the Dodgers, Milwaukee. You threw whoever you want to bring in Goose Gossage and Quisenberry and whoever else you want to kind of throw in. I don't give a crap. We're just gonna tee off on you. That's what we're gonna do tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good to me. So let's look at the prices.
It feels fair to play the Dodgers. It doesn't feel like they feel significant. I could argue for San Diego, but the weird part is no matter what, and even if the Dodgers are facing, even if somehow they ended up deciding to start the toughest guy they possibly could throw against the Dodgers, who's also going to be available in middle relief, is Woodruff. And honestly, he has it's not about whether or not it will work. It's about what is going to work by far the most often, and will it be reflected in the ownership and prices. So if it in fact is, which I think it will be, especially if Suter starts. Now, if Woodruff starts, maybe not so much, but I still think the prices make it hard, right, Sheets?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the prices of the Dodger guys in a second. But before we get to that, let's talk about Bueller.
Yep.
So last time you were drunk doing one of these, you were trying to sell me on Bueller, like with the 3 inning probably pitch count. And I even said, I have to figure out whether he's serious or not, or whether he's just overly drunk or whatever it is. And I think he only played 4. I think he pitched 4 innings and actually put up like 18 fantasy points or something like that.
Funny, yeah.
Not sure, but is it time to freaking go play him?
I'm very confused because this weird, unclear pitch count that they've sort of had him on should be let go, but it should be reflected in his price. Now he's priced almost the same price. He's priced right between Garrett Cole and Bieber today. To give you a reference, on an 8-game slate. But at the same time, we don't have another pitcher at the top we feel good about.
Well, we have Bauer.
Except for Bauer, even that one is volatile because that's a tough offense.
Right.
Now with the Dodgers, with Milwaukee, you get a high strikeout offense, even if you get the Bueller only 85 pitch game, which by the way, it's going to be somewhere in that range unless he's struggling, I think.
So he's not the guy that they're going to just now Blake Snell it up and just let him go 100 pitches in the playoffs, right?
No, I don't think so. Hasn't been long enough. He only had 1 start since his injury.
Okay.
I think it's more of an 85 pitch start. It might be good enough to play with Bauer. It might be higher. It could obviously be if he's dominating. It could always change, man, if you're dominating.
Yeah, and the other thing I will tell you now, you maybe pull up these hitter prices. Man, this is tough. It's tough to play the Dodgers today, isn't it?
So my main lineup, the first lineup I built, I had Bellinger, Seager, Betts, and Pollock. And I had Matt Carpenter in that lineup. Oddly, a cheap third baseman who I didn't talk about, but I think it's going to be changed. It's just a first lineup build because I needed somebody who made sense. Travis Shaw would also make a little bit of sense. I'm leaning towards in my SP2. I honestly think that our best. What's weird is that you might see that upside out of Fried that we haven't seen, and no one is going to play this guy. This guy was 7-0 with a 2.2 ERA, and no, I'm just gonna say I know all the advanced stats and all the numbers and the strikeouts are low and all this stuff, and he struggled his last few starts. I'm just saying, full medical clearance, he's healthy.
You know what you're probably supposed to do. I don't know if you're really supposed to do
Is it Berrios or Glasnow? It's probably Berrios, Glasnow, Bueller, and Bauer with a little bit of Carrasco. That's probably
what I was going to say is do something different if you want to play Dodgers. Is just play the wind and play Kendricks and Alcantara together.
If you have the wind, we don't know the wind.
But if you have the wind and you do that, then you can play all those 4 guys that you mentioned.
But you don't even need it. It's not like
okay.
It's not like Alcantara. You can pick a different guy. At that point, 4 points. Tomorrow's a day where 4 points would matter probably more than a day like today, even though it didn't end up because there was a bunch of dominant pitching performances. But somebody might put up 28, nobody else might put up 18. That's possible tomorrow. It's a must-win, man. It's a must-win for Cleveland. It's a must-win for Toronto. It's a must-win for – everybody's going to treat it like a must-win. Even the Dodgers, even if Bueller gets in trouble early, it's a 2 out of 3, man. This is not everybody gets the full-on leash except for if you're a freaking star of all stars, and we got all those guys today. Bueller would be the guy in this thing, and so would Carrasco. Carrasco, the more I think about it, actually makes some semblance of sense. It's just so weird to try to pitch a pitcher against the Yankees. It feels dumb, to be honest.
Carrasco, I don't know, man. I was about to say something stupid, but every time I play Carrasco, he takes every pitch, every batter to 3 balls and 1 strike.
I agree. I know it's super frustrating. if he gets through 6 and when he strikes out 9 and he gives up 1 run and he gets the win, you won't feel so bad about it. But
That's true, but it's not like it's every time I play him, he's playing. I'm playing against the Mariners. You know what I mean? I don't know if I ever.
for this Yankees team, I mean, honestly, it feels so dumb. After watching the Yankees at bats tonight, it feels really dumb to think about pitching a pitcher against them. I was just throwing him out there. Barrios, again, though, Houston, another patient team, but I do like Barrios.
Maybe Glass now is the shit. Maybe that's the one.
That's the obvious one, though, right? Maybe not. Maybe people don't think it is. I feel like it's the easy one that everyone will go to.
What stacks are going to be the highest owned? I don't think people are going to pay up for the Dodgers that much.
Yeah, they will. And honestly, it doesn't even matter who's pitching. It'll be the Dodgers. I don't care. I like the Dodgers. I like the sneaky stack of the White Sox and A's, both sides. I like what was the other one?
White Sox.
Not the A's full stack, just like a few bats.
I kind of like the Twins.
San Diego, and then honestly the Yankees. That's really what we need. Like, it's just about picking it out. Like Luke Voit looks perfect at the plate.
Luke Voigt's good.
Dude, I mean, it's been incredible. He looks incredible. Judge was great. Like, I mean, these guys are awesome. They make sense against anybody, but I wouldn't stack them against Carrasco. I probably would be looking for like 1-2 outs.
Oh, no way. You could Carrasco, if he starts walking guys, you're gonna want them, aren't you?
They're not gonna keep him in for that long then.
And then what?
And then they have their best every pitcher they have in their lineup to pitch 1 inning, which is not the best scenario. Like if I'm stacking tomorrow, I would rather stack a team that's not in a must-win, because it is harder when you face. And now it's different than it used to be, because you have to face only so many batters, but you still have to face, everybody throwing 1 inning, which is always going to be advantage pitcher.
So all of these are 2 out of 3?
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at this.
Time to call it one.
Yeah, what's that?
Time to call it one. We just got to name some home runs.
Yeah, I guess. I'm still a little bit confused about this pitching. But we got all that. We don't have all. Remember, dude, don't oversleep, man. This is an early slate.
I can't oversleep. I gotta go to the doctor tomorrow.
You got your doctor thing tomorrow, right?
Yeah. No, I the only pitching consideration that I'm going to have is whether I'm going to pitch Bauer in Atlanta or not, and I'm going to. So, and that sucks because I love Atlanta. By the way, Atlanta's offense is one-offs. Go for it. I'm just, again, I would stick with the bottom guys, the Riley and Duvall, assuming they're in the lineup. All right, Sheets. What do you want? What do you got for the people? Give me 1 home run for tomorrow. Who's gonna hit one?
All right, I'll do I'll go freaking Kepler.
All right, I'll take Corey Seager to stay on brand, regardless of who the pitcher is. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This was our semi-drunken post-debate after crazy baseball early wild card MLB slate. Go ahead.
Wait, I'll actually tell you guys actually going to hit the home run. Just so you know, Tatis is going to hit the home run. I mean, it's cool to say Kepler, but
I like both of them. Play them both on FanDuel. That's what you do, guys.
Yeah.
There you go. Play Seager and Tatis.
Okay.
All right, guys. For Sheets, I'm Bobby saying good luck out there. We'll see you tomorrow.